Live from our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
I don't blame China. After all, who can blame a country for being able to take advantage of another country for the benefit of its citizens? I give China great credit.
President Trump meets world leaders as his tour throughout Asia continues, and an Alabama judge running for Senate is accused of sexually abusing teenage girls, and Democrats win the majority of the races on Election Day. Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohn, and welcome to ABC 7 at 7. We'll have more on the week in Washington in a moment, but first, our top 7 stories at 7. Catching a tiger by the tail. Reports tonight of a tiger sighting in Mayaca City, sending Florida Fish and Wildlife officers on a hunt for big cats. 2 officers have been searching. The search started around 7:30 last night when a 17-year-old reported seeing large cats, what was believed to be tigers, walking near Crosby Road. Nearly 24 hours later, nothing yet.
Very unlikely for 3 tigers to just be walking down a road together because, like I said, naturally, they're solitary animals. So they're off on their own. They're looking for their own space.
4 facilities that house big cats in the surrounding areas, including big cat habitat, have all accounted for their animals. State Senator Jack LaVallee, who is running for governor, backed out of the grand marshal of today's Veterans Day parade. Tonight, news the Florida legislature is hiring a national employment law firm to investigate allegations he groped 6 women. Meanwhile, an attorney for LaVallee released results of a polygraph exam given to the Clearwater Republican. The polygraph examiner reportedly concluded LaVallee was being truthful when he denied he inappropriately touched the women. The women who made the claims include legislative staff and lobbyists. Buy a flag, help a soldier's family in Venice. It is part of Venice Nokomis Rotary Club's patriotic project. It's a reminder of the sacrifices paid by those who serve. About 100 families pay the Rotary Club $40 a year for the flags to be placed. The money goes to helping families of troops currently deployed.
I think any time a veteran sees his American flag, he straightens up a little bit more, and his chest comes out a little bit more, and he knows that sacrifice that he made.
The Suncoast Humane Society wants to provide a safe haven for animals whose owners are in crisis. The Humane Society is partnering with the Center for Abuse and Rape Emergencies to provide temporary housing for pets. CARE helps victims and survivors of domestic violence, sexual assault, and other violent crimes. The goal is to provide temporary care for animals whose owners are not able to find or provide extended care for their pets. A new manatee has arrived at the South Florida Museum. The manatee was rescued recently and is now going through rehabilitation at the museum. Her name is Laguna, and she is the first rescued manatee at the museum since the death of the iconic manatee Snooty. Laguna is 2.5 years old and was brought to the museum to recover after she was struck by a propeller.
We're happy to have her here. You know, you're always happy for a manatee to survive a situation like that. We're happy that we're going to be able to bring her through to the next stage.
Laguna is expected to be released from the South Florida Museum sometime in February. The high school football playoffs begin tonight, and several Suncoast schools are still playing. ABC 7's Dwayne Lindo has a preview of tonight's games.
Well, Alan, we have squads from 4 different classes playing tonight, but it's the big class making our game of the week. The 9-1 Riverview Rams take on the number 6 seed out of Osceola County, Gateway High School. And I got to tell you, Alan, these games are always fun because it's usually 2 teams that never get to play each other. In this case, it's the first playoff meeting between the 2 teams. Now, the Gateway Panthers have a 2-game winning streak and an offense that the Rams can't take lightly. And we all know Riverview's resume. Remember last year, the Rams won their first playoff game since 2004. They went deep before losing to Dr. Phillips last year. Many of the players say they have the talent to go even further. Ollie Boyce has carried much of the Rams offense this year. Running back Michael Hayes right behind him carrying some of the load. Quarterback Arthur Brantley also has a few weapons on offense that he will utilize. Stephon Turner and Zy Grable. If the Rams win, they may have a rematch with a team they beat last year in the postseason. But for now, the focus is on this key matchup tonight. Kickoff is at 7:30. Other key matchups, the Venice Indians take on St. Petersburg at home, and the Braden River Pirates travel down south to Lee County to take on South Fort Myers. But here's the kicker. If Braden River and Venice happen to win tonight, they both play each other next week in their bracket. For your latest scores and highlights, be sure to tune in to Football Friday Night tonight at 11:15. Alan, back to you.
Dwayne, thank you. The Crystal Classic International Sand Sculpting Festival kicking off today at Siesta Beach. Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan is there, and he joins us now with a look at the event and our weekend weather. Bob.
Well, we are here on Siesta Key, and it is beautiful tonight for the Crystal Classic Sand Sculpting Contest that's taking place this weekend. You got to look at just the sponsor wall, and that is amazing in and itself. There's a nice ABC7 logo, and the Van Wezel webcam showing beautiful conditions out there late today, but it was cloudy and foggy all day long. How'd you like the weather? How'd you like?
I felt like I was in Ohio.
In Ohio, yeah. Things are looking better though tomorrow, so don't worry about it. Lots of sunshine in the forecast. A lot of people out here at night now. That's a new thing here at the Crystal Classic. It goes on until 9 o'clock. We had some fog out there in the Gulf of Mexico earlier, but currently we have just a few clouds around and temperatures pretty mild at 70 degrees. Dew point is at 64 and the humidity at 81%, and winds again out of the north-northeast at 6 miles an hour, and expected to stay out of the northeast throughout the day tomorrow. Maybe a little bit breezy at times, but we should see a lot more sunshine, okay? They're happy about that. Low 70s currently up and down the coast, 75-degree Gulf water temperature, and low 70s as well inland counties at Highlands and Hardy and DeSoto counties. Northeast winds sustained now anywhere from 5 to 10, a little higher in some places, but generally out of the northeast, and will continue, as I said, to do that. It'll stay in the 5 to 10 mile an hour range, so I'm not expecting the fog that we saw this morning for tomorrow. We will see the possibility of an isolated shower, however. We'll have much more on that coming up a little bit later. Alan?
Bob, thank you. President Trump continues to make his rounds throughout Asia. Stay with us.
Monday at 4 on Suncoast View.
All right, we know it's early, but we are going to get our holiday spirit going. I'm Stephanie Roberts on Suncoast View. Venice Theater is here with a Red Ryder BB gun to preview their version of A Christmas Story musical. Then we'll dish on the worst holiday gifts ever received. An Indian chef will help us incorporate more spices into our holiday cooking, and Libby's Cafe and Bar is in the kitchen.
Monday at 4 on Suncoast View.
Take the trolley to Siesta Beach for the Crystal Classic Sand Sculpting Festival, November 10th through 13th. See master sand sculptors create works of art. It's family fun with hands-on kids activities, sand sculpting lessons, music, food, a party tent, and more. Visit SiestaKeyCrystalClassic.com.
You love your couch and want to protect it from spills, food, and scratching, shedding pets. Introducing Couch Coat, the reversible, washable quilted cover that protects your couch. Shield against spills. Wow! Stop stains and dirty pet paws and sharp claws. Plus, it's reversible with 2 stylish colors. Guaranteed to fit any couch up to 92 inches or your money back. It even has covers to protect armrests. Machine washable too.
My grandkids destroy everything, but with Couch Coat, my couch is always protected, looking as good as it did the day I bought it.
Get your Couch Coat for just $19.99, and it's reversible in brown and cream, like 2 couch coats for the price of 1. Order right now and you can double your offer. Get a second couch coat. Just pay a separate fee. Order right now.
Call 1-800-943-0710 to get your couch coat. Call now or go to couchcoat.com. So call 1-800-943-0710. That's 1-800-943-0710. Call now.
For 30 years, it's been an honor for the Michaels on Ice team to serve you.
We love that our restaurant, wine cellar, and ballroom have become your favorite gathering places, and we love catering your parties.
From everyday celebrations to life's greatest occasions, please join us soon for new culinary adventures. A toast to 30 years.
And to many more.
ABC 7, your official Florida lottery station for the Suncoast.
It's bigger and better. The Siesta Key Crystal Classic Sand Sculpting Festival, November 10th through 13th. 24 international artists create massive sand sculptures. Enjoy 4 days and 2 nights with live music, food, a party tent, and more. See SiestaKeyCrystalClassic.com for details.
President Trump followed all the political intrigue and not so good political news from abroad this week. Tonight, he is in Vietnam, and as ABC's Karen Travers reports, trying to navigate the international politics and Vladimir Putin.
Before getting down to business on economic issues, APEC leaders came together for dinner. President Trump and other world leaders sporting Vietnamese shirt coats, a rare shift from the president's usual suit and tie. Earlier today, President Trump talking tough on trade.
We are not going to let the United States be taken advantage of anymore.
It was an America First speech from the president, but his message to APEC nation leaders, they should do the same in their countries. The massive trade deficit the U.S. has with China has loomed large on President Trump's Asia tour. Once again, he said it's the fault of previous U.S. administrations.
I do not blame China.
Declaring the U.S. will no longer ignore cheating, the president didn't specifically mention China, but his message was loud and clear.
We will not remain silent as American companies are targeted by state-affiliated actors for economic gain, whether through cyber attacks, corporate espionage, or other anti-competitive practices.
Leaders here in Asia are anxious about what President Trump's nationalistic economic policies mean for them. The president pulled the U.S. out of the Trans-Pacific Partnership, but said he'll make one-on-one agreements with any nation who will practice fair and reciprocal trade.
This summit brings President Trump face-to-face with nearly 24 world leaders, including Russian President Vladimir Putin. Last week, the president said that he wanted to meet with the Russian president and was going to push for his help on North Korea. There is no formal meeting between the two leaders on the agenda. The White House says that's due to scheduling conflicts, but says the presidents could run into each other and chat for a bit. Karen Travers, ABC News, traveling with the president in Da Nang, Vietnam.
Coming up in a moment, the president's trip, big Democratic wins from Virginia to St. Petersburg, and Roy Moore, the trapezoid. It's next.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to Mesobook.com.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-685-6422, 800-685-6422.
You studied hard, went to college, and achieved your dream, but it turned into a financial nightmare. If you have federal student loans and you'd like to reduce your payments, get more time, or have your loans completely eliminated, then we have good news. With one call to Student Loan Relief Services, you can find support and guidance. We've already helped thousands of people, and we can help you too. If you have $10,000 or more in federal student loans, you can qualify for payment extensions, payment reductions, questions, or you may qualify to have your federal student loan completely forgiven. Call Student Loan Relief Services now to find out about your options. Take control of your finances and get out from under this burden. One of our student loan experts has the answers to your questions and great solutions to ease your financial burden. We're here for you. Call Student Loan Relief Services now.
Call 800-759-0203, 800-759-0203.
Welcome back. Okay, so let's admit it has been a little hard keeping track of President Trump's trip to Asia this week because there have been so many bizarre stories here at home in his absence. You got it. Roy Moore, the Republican U.S. Senate candidate from Alabama. Republicans in Washington had no love for him before it appeared that he was going to head anyway to victory in next month's special election. And that was until yesterday when news broke of allegations he assaulted a number of teenage girls 30 years ago. This was just capped a bad week for the president and his party. Democrats sweeping to elections this week in Virginia, New Jersey, and St. Petersburg, Florida. Polls show declining approval ratings for the president and the Republican-controlled Congress. And joining us for more is Dion Ramos of the Northport Republican Club, Kevin Griffith, the vice chair of the Sarasota Democratic Party, and we welcome back Kate Bradshaw, the politics editor of Creative Loafing. So let's start with the president and his trip from one end of Asia to the other, from Beijing now to Vietnam. And it's been hard for people to get a handle of what this trip means in the big picture, except for the comparison to what the president said about China on the campaign trail and what he said when he was actually in Beijing. Let's take a look.
We can't continue to allow China to rape our country. They're getting away with murder. I don't blame China. After all, who can blame a country for being able to take advantage of another country for the benefit of its citizens? I give China great credit.
Deanna, a lot of the Republicans on the Sun Coast liked President Trump when he was running for office, basically sticking it to China. And there's been such a 180 in terms of the attitude and his speeches while this week in Beijing.
Well, you know, people still love Trump, okay? And the reason why he's going to Asia, so I mean, he's showing the American people that he's able to build these relationships with these countries and still say what the American people feel in their hearts. Overall, this trip is a great trip to reassure our Asian counterparts that we, the United States, will be with them. And at the same time, he's keeping good on his promises about starting that conversation about trade here in America.
A little bit difference in the rhetoric?
I think that splattering of applause that you saw between the first and second clip there explains it all. You heard on the campaign trail currency manipulator. You heard the trade rhetoric on the campaign trail. Trump goes to Asia and they played him perfectly. They feted him with glory and kind words, and in return, he only had kind words for them.
You know, Kate, I know you've had a busy week. You covered the St. Pete mayor's race, which we'll talk about a little bit. But you said that you came home, turned on the TV, and there was the president in Beijing, and it really struck you.
Yeah, actually, this was earlier in the week when he was in South Korea, and it was Tuesday night, and I was kind of trying to write up some of my election coverage from earlier in the evening, and he's talking about his golf courses. He's talking about how in the South Korean women in the women's PGA were playing at his golf courses, and I just thought it just struck me as so weird. I mean, what kind of bizarro land are we in?
Dion, you're shaking your head, but that did strike a lot of observers as not something usually a president would do on the international stage.
Well, you know, Donald Trump is not a normal president by any means, but what people don't do and what the media certainly doesn't do is focus on the main points that he's trying to get at, especially with this trip.
Well, when he makes comments like that, does he take away from the point he's really trying to make? Because, as you said, you know, most presidents have never brought up their personal business ties on the international stage.
No, I mean, I don't think so. You know, people still have strong ties to him. The Republicans, you know, they're slowly but surely getting behind him in the long run. And like I said before, this trip, even though he does have a character, we all know that, But what we should be focusing on is, these points that he's making.
I want to give you the last word.
The problem, Alan, is the seriousness of what's happening in Asia. First of all, you have North Korea, which is the ultimate serious issue right now, and China, whose economy is on track to try to take over America.
All right, we have to take a quick break, but we are just getting warmed up, and we'll have much more on the president's trip and politics in the U.S. when we come back.
If you're over the age of 50 and considering buying an annuity in the next 60 days, I have some important news for you. Don't buy an annuity until you understand the pros and cons of annuities. A free book to help you maximize your retirement income from television host and three-time author Josh Melberg has been released. This book reveals little-known truths about annuity strategies in simple-to-understand terms. Grab a pen right now because we are about to offer you this free book that unlocks the 5 little-known secrets we believe baby boomers and seniors should know before buying an annuity. Call 800-307-2040 now and you'll receive a free copy of Josh Melberg's book, Next Gen Annuity Strategies Revealed. As a bonus, we'll also send you the #1 mistakes retirees are making with their investments today, and a free DVD on how you can get up to 33% more income in retirement. Call 800-307-2040 to have your free information kit rushed to your door. Again, that's 800-307-2040.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big, or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $15 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand with no surprises and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received the J.D. Power Award for highest customer service 3 times in a row. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-457-2317. Go online or visit a Target store today.
All hands on deck. What's up? I want to point out 3 tips for using the home computer more safely. Point away.
First, stop. Make sure your software is up to date and that you've password protected your computer's login and Wi-Fi connection.
Next, think before visiting a site, opening attachments, or clicking on links.
Then connect, knowing you're helping make the web safer for you
and for everyone. Make Stop, Think, Connect part of your daily online routine.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
Well, the lights are bright out here right now, shining on all the different sculpting that's going on. It has been going on all day long. They do it again tomorrow on Saturday, and then Sunday afternoon is when they'll find out who wins for this particular event, which is great out here on CSK. Let's go to the weather and show you how good things are. In fact, things are looking pretty nice right here along the Suncoast, and we'll continue to see pretty good weather for the weekend, too, as a result of a high-pressure system building in behind this front that brought us kind of the clouds and fog today. Well, that has faded away, and we're looking for high pressure to build back in, and it should be rather mild. Again, the Van Wezel webcam showing the sun is set, but still we're looking at calm conditions out there in the water right now. Currently, we have mostly fair skies, a few clouds, and temperature now into the upper 60s to low 70s across the Suncoast. North-northeast winds at 6 and the pressure 30.05 inches. That continues to rise. That's always a good sign. The high today was 73. Despite the clouds and despite the fog, we still warmed up to 73. Our average high is at 80, and the record 88 set back in 1942. The low this morning was 67 degrees. No rainfall to report today, and it will stay dry. Looks like through the weekend for the most part. Someone was asking if it's going to rain over the weekend. There's a very slight chance we may see a passing shower, but it won't stick around all that long. Temperatures currently in Osprey at 72, Kensington Park 71, 73 now in Port Charlotte, and Northport now at 72 degrees. Well, the hourly forecast for Saturday looks to be pretty nice. Sunshine throughout most of the day, a few clouds developing in the afternoon and evening, and we will see a little chance. I mentioned 20% chance for a passing shower. You'll see that on the Futurecast as we move through time. A few showers along the East Coast tomorrow, and then some of those will work their way over toward the west coast, but most of them, as I said, will be fast movers, and they'll hit and get out of here pretty quickly. Sunday, look for similar conditions. The rain chance only at 20%. Well, nationally, what we got going on? Well, cold air over the northern plain states and throughout the mid-Mississippi Valley right now. Over the southeast, things are quiet as that area of low pressure has moved on. A few showers along the east coast near West Palm Beach, and up the coast toward the Bahamas, some showers there. You can see they're kind of dropping off to the southwest right now. And as far as the forecast goes, the more cold air is expected to break out over the northern plains over the next week or so, with cold Arctic air settling in. Out west, the good news is finally some showers over Northern California, Washington, Oregon. Things are looking kind of cloudy and wet there. Well, temperatures, get a look at them. We're loving it down here with 70-degree temperatures. Right now in New York, it's about 30 degrees. In Cleveland, it's 29. Chicago, the same, 23 in Minneapolis. I don't think they're doing many sand sculpting going on right now in Minneapolis. Maybe some snow. That's right, they might be making some snowmen. Here's the boating forecast. Northeast winds 10 to 15 knots. Seas will be 2 to 3 feet with a moderate chop on the bays and inland waters. The water temperature now 75 degrees and the UV index at a 10. For us tomorrow, so a lot higher than it was today. Tides are on your screen right there. Low tide upcoming at 10:12, and the forecast for tonight: clearing skies over the entire area, just a few clouds, 66 for your low. It should be perfect out here until 9 o'clock, and then for tomorrow, looks good. We will see generally sunny skies, a few clouds in the afternoon, a high near 82, and then the extended forecast is calling for nice weather again on Sunday. That rain chance at 20%. We have a weak front moving through come early Monday. It will cool things down into the upper 70s Tuesday through Friday of next week. Well, Alan will be right back after this. Stick around.
At Humana, we believe great things are ahead of you when you start with healthy. And part of staying healthy means choosing the right Medicare plan. Humana can help. With Original Medicare, you're covered for hospital stays and doctor office visits when you're sick, but keep in mind you'll have to pay a deductible for each. A Medicare supplement plan can cover your deductibles and coinsurance, but you may pay higher premiums than you do with other plans, and prescription drug coverage isn't included. But with an all-in-one Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you could get all that coverage plus Part D prescription drug benefits, all for an affordable monthly plan premium, and in some areas, no plan premium. It's all described in this free book and DVD. Call for yours and discover how an all-in-one Medicare Advantage plan from Humana could save you money. Call 1-855-395-9803. That's 1-855-395-9803 now.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
I heard about the DATTOLI Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the DATTOLI Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the DATTOLI Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
Welcome back. We're talking about the week in politics, and joining us for more is Dion Ramos of the Northport Republican Club, Kevin Griffith, the vice chair of the Sarasota Democratic Party, and we welcome back Kate Bradshaw, the politics editor at creative loafing. So there were elections this week from New Jersey to Virginia to Florida, and we're always looking at the tea leaves in terms of how do elections today portend the midterms or the presidential election in a couple of years. Democrats did pretty good. They kept the governor's mansion in Virginia, and they won it back in New Jersey and in St. Pete in a close election. Mayor Kreisman defeated the former mayor, Rick Baker, and I'm wondering what that tells us. First, let's take a look at what the new governors say it tells us.
This is one of the first major elections since Donald Trump was elected. Tonight, New Jersey sent an unmistakable message to the entire nation. We are better than this.
That we will not condone hatred and bigotry, and to end the politics that have torn this country apart.
Dion, you heard what the new governors have to say. What are local Republicans feeling right now with so much on the line in the next few years?
I mean, it's the same rhetoric we hear every year. These are normal normal elections, both tough fights with the Republicans and Democrats in both states. Democrats came on an end on both states that are typically Democratic, so not much of a story here. Doesn't scare us a bit, and we're just preparing for the upcoming elections in the future.
New Jersey had a Republican governor up until now, although they are in the presidential years, Democratic. In Virginia, it's always been close. It is a purple state, not much different than Florida. So, there's been some observations that the problem that Ed Gillespie, the Republican, had in Virginia is that on one hand, he refused to campaign with the president. On the other hand, he tried to trumpet Trump's culture war.
Well, one of the things that the Democrats did well in Virginia was that they came off during their midterms, they were very left, and then when it came to the general against the Republicans, he became very moderate and started saying that he'd work with the administration, and he got very right on things like sanctuary cities, which brought moderate voters in. So if the Republican ticket wasn't as, exciting that time around, it'll
Kevin,
around another day.
Do these elections give you and other Democrats a lot of energy? Is there a game plan that you can glean from how these candidates did it?
Well, first let me touch on what Dion said. What amazes me is that the Republicans were coming out and saying, well, Ed Gillespie, who's been a traditional Republican for 30 years and was the chair of the Republican Party, argued that he needed to move more to the right. This is what Trump is doing to the Republican Party, is saying you need to shift further to the extremism, racism, and these types of things. And that's what he needed to do to win. Yes, of course, it's energizing the local Democrats here in Sarasota. We have a race, as you know, House District 72. That was a district that Trump narrowly won. It's February 13th is the general election. We have a primary right now, December 5th. Whoever comes out of that is going to be a very strong Democrat. And you're going to see here in Sarasota that the local voters are fed up with Donald Trump.
Kate, the nearest race that we had here in terms of this election season was the St. Pete mayor's race, where Donald Trump actually became the central theme in a mayoral contest. How and what does that say to you? Because if you look at Pinellas County in general, Pinellas County went for Trump in the election.
Right, but St. Petersburg didn't. It's a very, very progressive city. They tend to elect, it's a nonpartisan election ostensibly, but it's really not. Both parties had so much invested, and while in a way it became kind of a proxy, I wouldn't call it an analog to these other races, just because the Kreisman administration, the incumbent, who's a Democrat, had all of these vulnerabilities that, some were real, some were perceived, some were kind of blown up in the media and on social media.
Dion, I want to get some quick reaction from you, because all this takes place in the context where there were a bevy of new polling coming out today. One from the Washington Post and ABC News finds that the majority of Americans say President Trump has not accomplished much during his first 9 months in office, and that Trump's approval rating is lower than any previous chief executive at this point in his presidency.
Well, look, you know, we can look at the polls all we want, but when we go in the streets, we talk to people, we talk to voters, they love Trump, they love his ideas, they love how he's able to connect with the people. And I mean, he's shown that even in Asia. He's able to connect with the Asian leaders and the people and energize the population. That's what he's doing here in Sarasota.
Kevin, that's the big question. That, you know, this polling might say what it says, and there was another recent poll that shows that, in general, in Florida, Trump's approval rating basically mirrors what you see nationally. But this isn't the rest of Florida. This is Trump country, and the question is whether Democrats are making a dent here.
Well, the argument the Democrats have to make is that Democrats govern better. Democrats believe that government can work for people, and Donald Trump and the Republican Party are entirely anti-government. They, and especially, we were talking earlier, Deanna and I, down in the Northport area. The Northport area went very strong for Trump, but the issue is going to be governance, and the Republican Party and their inability to get things done at the national level, but also here at the local level. If you look at local coverage this week of State Senator Greg Stubbe's bill to the tree ordinance, to regulate local city tree ordinances. That means in Northport, in Venice, in Sarasota, you would not be able to, your government would not be able to come up with their own
ordinances. We should do a whole show on that, because that gets into local rule over state rule and so forth. But
preemption's huge.
I want to bring up another issue here, because the balance of power in Congress right now is on the line. It is so close. It's 52-48. You have a Senate candidate in Alabama, Roy Moore, a former Chief Justice who has been removed twice from the bench, and this week was accused by several women of abusing them decades ago. Let's take a look at this. It is a tweet from Roy Moore, basically denying the allegations and said that he never will give up this fight, even though Senate Republicans seem to have severed financial ties with him and are backing away. Deanna, what do you make of this?
I only got one thing to say about this. You're innocent until proven guilty, and if it's true, I would definitely urge him to step down.
Knowing what you know now, would you vote for him if you lived in Alabama?
You know, like I said again, he's innocent until proven guilty, and if the courts find him guilty, I would urge him to step down.
Well, that's unlikely.
Yeah, it's statute of limitations.
You know, I'm a lawyer in town here, and here's the issue. Yes, you are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, but in this instance, he's running to be the representative of the state of Alabama in the United States Senate. Those are two different things. He's running to be the leader of his state. And I just find it baffling that some Republicans have chosen to dismiss this pedophilia, because that's what it is.
But Kate, let me ask you this, because as journalists, I mean, we have often come across allegations amongst a lot of things that could take place years ago without any evidence. Why are the rules here differently for reporting on this?
Well, I think in this instance you have 4 women who are named, unlike in many other stories or many other instances they're not named, and they have the Washington Post went to great pains to go into so much detail, and they were able to sort of determine, okay, this person was in this place at this time, this could have happened. I think that there's enough evidence there to take it seriously, even if it's not something that can be prosecuted.
Okay, we have to take a quick break, and we'll be back for final thoughts right when we return.
Attention blood thinner users. Thousands of blood thinner users may have been exposed to serious risk by these dangerous medications. If your loved one took Xarelto or Pradaxa and suffered serious internal bleeding, call right now. Call Nightline Legal to speak with an experienced attorney for a free consultation. If we don't win, there is no fee. There are time deadlines to file a claim, so don't wait. Call right now.
Call 1-800-554-3987. Again, that's 1-800-554-3987.
Attention type 2 diabetics. The FDA warns of an increased risk of amputation associated with certain diabetes medications. If you took the diabetes medications Invokana or Invokamet and then suffered an amputation or one of these other serious injuries, call the Rely On Group right now. If you've suffered amputation or any of these injuries after taking your diabetes medication, call the Rely On Group today. You may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. The FDA has recently warned about an increased risk of leg and foot amputations associated with the use of certain diabetic medications, such as Invokana and Invokamet. If you or a loved one took the diabetes medications Invokana or Invokamet and then suffered an amputation, ketoacidosis, kidney failure, or even death, call the Rely On Group now. We are here to help you get the justice you deserve. You may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-355-8205. That's 800-355-8205.
It's the holiday sales event here at Alex Karras Lincoln. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKX Sport Utility for $349 per month, or Lincoln's flagship, the 2017 Continental, for $449 per month. We have a great selection of certified pre-owned Lincolns. These vehicles have warranties up to 100,000 miles and come with complimentary roadside assistance. Alex Karras Lincoln, affordable luxury. Winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award, serving Florida's Sun Coast since 1978. We are located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
And our guests join us right now for final thoughts. I wanted to touch on tax reform this week because there's been a lot of back and forth in terms of who this plan benefits. But Kevin, around here especially, people want the government to be spending less money and they want more of their money back in terms of taxes. So I know what's going on in Washington, but is it politically dangerous for the Democrats there to be against this bill?
I think people want a fair system, and they don't want people in power and big corporations to be the main beneficiary. Let me give you an example. This Republican tax bill wants to eliminate the estate tax. The estate tax only benefits people who make who have a estate of $11.5 million or more. You know who would benefit from that here locally? The Buchanan family, who happens to be our congressman, who also happens to be the person who helped author that part of the bill.
Okay, but Deanna, I want to give you a chance to respond to that, but I also want to ask you that the Tax Policy Center pointed out that 12% of Americans from the House plan would wind up paying more money in terms of their taxes, and the vast majority of Americans who get a tax cut, it wouldn't be a lot. It would be like $1,200 a year. Got to tell you, $1,200 a year is chump change, especially if Democrats are saying, look how much wealthy Americans will get.
Right, no, but they always do studies like this on these kind of bills, and the outcome is never what they say. I could tell you this, that the Republicans in the House are geared towards, families, helping them on their taxes, and letting them, like you said, bring more money in their pocket instead of corporations and government taking away from them. Americans work hard for the money, and this is going to be geared towards letting them keep their own money.
Kate, in terms of when you talk to the general public around here, what kind of sense do you get in terms of the politics of this and whether they want any kind of tax cut?
Right, so I think in sort of my bubble, so to speak, I think a lot of people people are worried about the deficit, of course, and I think a lot of people want their tax dollars, at least, again, in St. Petersburg, very democratic city, they want their tax dollars to help. That's
okay. We could do another show on this, but we have to move on. Before we go, we want to share with you what some of you had to say about last night's show on protecting your personal information. About 140 million Americans were affected by the Equifax data breach. Some people are now paying cash instead of using credit cards to better protect themselves. Here is what some of you have to say. Kevin says, the privacy ship sailed a long time ago. If a big credit reporting agency like Equifax can't do a job protecting us, then who can? And Arlene says, time to start buying loaded Visa gift cards and pay with those. Well, if you'd like to join the conversation on tonight's topic, just visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/mysuncoast.com.abc7. And FYI, you can watch past discussions on demand. They're available on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Roku. And a reminder, for updates on national and local breaking news, you can download the latest version of our app. Android users, you'll get it automatically. iPhone users, you need to go to the App Store and re-download the app. Just search for WWSB or My Suncoast. We want to thank our guests for being here today. Dion Ramos of the Northport Republican Club, Kevin Griffith, the Vice Chair of the Sarasota Democratic Party, and Kate Bradshaw, the Politics Editor of Creative Loafing. When we return, we'll have a final look at your first alert weather, plus Alabama Senate candidate Roy Moore is accused of sexual misconduct with a 14-year-old girl when he was in his 30s, and we'll have more on that after the break.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big, or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $15 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand with no surprises and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received the J.D. Power Award for highest customer service 3 times in a row. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-457-2317. Go online or visit a Target store today.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetsi. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
Now your ABC7 First Alert Weather Forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
Well, another gorgeous night here on the Suncoast. It's Friday night, too, and beautiful weather for football Friday night. We are here live, not live, but at the Crystal Classic. For the most part, things are looking pretty good for the weekend. We'll see a slight chance for a shower or two, but not much rain anticipated as we move through time. You know, the sunset last night was absolutely spectacular. People have been coming up to me and saying, why didn't you use my picture last night? I said, there's about 100 pictures that came in. I tried to use as many as I could, but here's just one of those from Lido. Get a look at that gorgeous, gorgeous shot right there from Kevin. Appreciate that from Lido Beach. And we are looking at generally fair skies right now overhead. All the clouds and fog have since moved on, and that's a good sign right now. Currently, we have mostly fair skies, a few clouds around, and the temperature right around 70 degrees up and down the coast, and the humidity not too bad. The dew point is actually lowering now, down into the mid-60s. It had been into the upper 60s all day long. That is starting to lower somewhat. That makes it feel a little bit more comfortable, and the pressure is rising, so that's another good sign that we'll see a lot of sunshine up ahead. The high today, despite the clouds, we still warmed into the low 70s. It was below average, however. 80 degrees is our normal high. This morning's low was above average, and we should be pretty close to it tomorrow. Rainfall, no rain to speak of. It's been a dry month so far, and it will stay that way, too, for the most part over the weekend. I mentioned a few passing showers are possible. We're still well above average for our yearly rainfall. The temperatures up and down the coast, into the low 70s, all up and down from Bradenton to Palmetto, all the way to Parrish and Lakewood Ranch, Venice, Northport, Port Charlotte, all right now, low 70s. We're expecting lows into the mid 60s in most places by wake-up time on Saturday morning, Veterans Day. The hourly forecast looks good. A lot more sunshine for us tomorrow, and it looks like temperatures warming up into the low 80s, so this cold front wasn't much. The next one moving through on late Sunday and Monday will cool things down a little bit. Well, Futurecast indicating a few showers possible on the East Coast as we get that northeasterly wind. One or two of those showers may make its way all the way over to the West Coast, but that rain chance only at 20% for a few passing showers. Same goes for Sunday. Rain chance staying pretty low. I talked to Brian Wigglesworth, who actually started this. He said that's not going to hurt the sculptors. What hurts them is strong winds, and it doesn't appear the wind's going to be a big problem. Again, national satellite and radar picture showing quiet conditions over the southern plains, very cold weather over the upper Mississippi Valley and over the southeast. Just one or two storms again off the Florida coast on the east coast, but nothing going on here. As I mentioned, that cold, snowy weather continuing over the North Dakota area, Minnesota, and to Wisconsin with a little clipper system. Out west, they're getting a lot more rainfall. Let's go to the forecast panels and tell you what's going on. We have winds out of the northeast for us tomorrow as far as boating goes. Seas will be 2 to 3 feet with a light to moderate chop. So winds and seas picking up a bit tomorrow. The Gulf water temperature into the mid 70s. It's actually warmed up over a couple of days. UV index will be high, much higher tomorrow. As far as the tides, they're on your screen. You see them right there. And sunset just before 6 o'clock tomorrow. Come on out. This is going to be an evening event too. Tonight's forecast mostly fair. Low temperatures in the mid 60s, and then for tomorrow, lots of sunshine around, a few clouds. The 7-day looks good, just a 20% chance for a few showers or two. And I'll tell you, beautiful weather anticipated. How are you guys liking it so far?
Really great! Woo!
Where are you from?
California.
California. What do you think of this beautiful weather here?
Wonderful here.
Isn't it nice? Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the beautiful San Diego weather.
It is. It is.
How you guys? You guys liking it?
Yes.
Yes. What's your favorite so far?
This one?
This one, yeah. It's the sponsor board. People like the sponsor board more than anything. I appreciate it, you guys. Well, Alan will be right back after this. Stick around.
This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-738-9812. 800-738-9812.
Are you currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost, shipped directly to your home for free. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, spinal disorders, and other chronic back problems. Will you qualify for a medical-grade back brace?
Call Back Brace America at 1-800-683-9262.
If you or a loved one used a proton pump inhibitor, such as Nexium, Prilosec, or Prevacid, and then developed chronic kidney disease, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. A recent report released by the American Medical Association found that the use of proton pump inhibitors was associated with a significant increase in the risk of developing chronic kidney disease. Side effects associated with these medications include acute kidney injury, chronic kidney disease, dialysis treatment, kidney or renal failure, kidney transplant surgery, and even death. If you or a loved one used Nexium, Prilosec, or Prevacid and then developed chronic kidney disease, call right now. You may be owed significant compensation from the manufacturer. Call Nightline Legal to speak with an experienced attorney for a free consultation. There are time deadlines to file a claim, so don't wait. Call right now.
Call 1-800-977-4346. Again, that's 1-800-977-4346.
Checking primetime headlines, the Alabama Republican candidate for Senate and controversial judge who became a hero to some on the religious right when he refused to remove a Ten Commandments monument from a judicial building is facing allegations of sexual misconduct. Judge Roy Moore is accused of sexually assaulting a 14-year-old girl when he was in his 30s nearly 4 decades ago. ABC's Serena Marshall joins us from Washington with more on the explosive allegations.
Controversial Alabama Senate candidate and suspended former Chief Justice Roy Moore refusing to drop out of the Senate race after allegations in the Washington Post he molested a 14-year-old girl and pursued other teenage girls when he was in his 30s. In a statement, Moore saying the Obama-Clinton machine's liberal media lapdogs just launched the most vicious and nasty round of attacks against me I've ever faced, adding, "I will never give up the fight." The Post spoke to 4 women in their bombshell investigation, including Lee Korfman, now 53. She alleges she was 14 when Moore, then an Alabama assistant district attorney, took her to his home. She told the paper he took off her shirt and pants and removed his clothes. He touched her over her bra and underpants, she claims, and guided her hand to touch him over his underwear.
These aren't fuzzy memories. These are, women who are very certain and confident about what happened to them.
ABC News confirmed the details of the allegations with nearly all of the women.
She knows how powerful and popular Roy Moore is. She's actually voted Republican in recent elections, including for Donald Trump.
While in Washington, Republican leaders are distancing themselves.
The president also believes that if these allegations are true, Judge Moore will do the right thing and step aside.
With just a month until the special election, these Alabama voters sticking by the judge.
I just don't believe Roy Moore did that.
We might need to forgive and go on, but I wouldn't think he needs to just step aside unless they prove that he is guilty of some bad sexual conduct.
Moore shows no signs of backing down, and it's too late to replace him on the ballot. If he does win, he can expect a chilly reception on Capitol Hill. Serena Marshall, ABC News, Washington.
Olympic gymnast Allie Raceman says she was sexually abused by the longtime doctor for USA Gymnastics. Raceman is a 3-time Olympic gold medalist and was captain of the U.S. gymnastics team at the 2012 and 2016 Olympics. Larry Nassar worked as a physician for USA Gymnastics for years, and dozens of women have accused him of sexual misconduct. He is facing 22 counts of first-degree criminal sexual conduct in Michigan. In July, he also pled guilty to federal charges connected to child pornography and destroying evidence. Comedian Louis C.K. has responded to the sexual misconduct allegations made towards him, saying the stories are true. The comedian released a statement admitting he used his power he had over women. The release of Louis C.K.'s new movie, I Love You, Daddy, has been scrapped amid the allegations. The 5 women in the report accuse C.K. of inappropriate behavior, including exposing himself in front of them. C.K. won't be appearing in an upcoming HBO autism benefit, and Netflix is scrapping plans for another stand-up special with him. We are getting a look at the brain scans of disgraced former NFL player Aaron Hernandez. Researchers say the 27-year-old Hernandez had significant brain damage, usually seen in someone 20 years older. He was found to have stage 3 CTE, 1 step below the most severe level. Hernandez took his own life in prison back in April while serving a life sentence for murder. Hernandez's family has filed a lawsuit against the NFL, accusing the league of hiding the dangers of head trauma. And that's all the time we have for this evening. I'm Alan Cohn. Thanks for joining us, and have a nice weekend.